is like gonna blow you away. And I did find something about the old world. We're talking about the old world in this subject because we need to know about the old world. And coincidentally, what is the coined word when Columbus sailed the ocean blue? It's the New World. So I was actually doing research on the New World Order. The New World Order has been taking place for hundreds of years. But before we could appreciate the New World, we got to look at the Old World. I'm having a zinc lozenge today because I got the COVID-19. Anyways, I guess the joke's on me. So I'm going to look at this video I got. I don't even remember the guy's name, but this guy was doing some amazing research about the old world. And it's funny, he started his video about the old world and trains colliding and using, like, we don't use trains. So what are you going to do with the trains that you have left over after, there's more technology that developed? They were just smashing their trains into each other and charging admission to, have people watch these trains collide. So yeah, it's quite ballistic. But I was also, on that subject of the old world is this, something else came up on my news feed about the resets, So when you look at the 1348, the peak year of the Black Death, 1944, the Holocaust was at its height. 1816, the year without summer, when a volcanic eruption in Indonesia blocked out the sun. 1644, China's Ming Dynasty collapsed, and the 30 Years' War raged in Europe. That's 1644. And then now we're even talking about 410 AD, barbarians sacked Rome. The barbarians took out Rome, and these are some significant civilizations that met their demise. So that's just some things that I really encourage people to look at when they go and do some research. Because in this subject, I'm trying to stay focused on the old world. So I got these videos from this one guy, and just showing the development of the maps, development of the like marking out the globe, marking out, different landmarks on this earth. Because keep in mind, before Columbus sailed in 1492, and I'm not even talking about if he was the first one to do it or not, because chances are there was Vikings that did it. It's possible some Africans did it too, but Columbus is getting the credit for doing it because he really set out to find maybe a shortcut to India. That's why when they get to the United States and they're like, oh, look at the Indians. But little do they know it was Native Americans. A lot of that stuff you could kind of figure out if you study history on your own. But right now we're looking at these different maps, these different things that I got from this this one other video. This this guy, I would suggest that you watch it on your own. I don't know what inspired this guy. I don't know if what I'm experiencing now is some collective consciousness. That some people will stumble up on these studies that is going to help the future of humanity in the sense that we should embrace the past and the different falls of civilizations. Even if you look at the Bible, you see that the different events that destroyed the earth, and maybe you could call that great resets. But I think what we're experiencing now, this time around, you could call it whatever you want. You could coin whatever terminology you want. But just remember, right now we're looking at the old world. the old world, like, and we should really focus on Spain. We should really focus on Europe and those different places they do call the old world. Keep in mind, like even in 1492 or during that century, a lot of people thought the earth is flat, and nowadays people still think the earth is flat. Even if they look at the shadow of the earth on the moon, you can see that it's round. The shadow's not a square shadow on the moon, so that's pretty much like the evidence is clear. Like even if you look at the ocean horizon, you can see that it's curved. People been around the earth. People flew around the earth. So we know that maybe some of the old world ideas were really far-fetched. And even the Bible in the Psalms talks about the sun revolving. I'm sorry, I take that back. The earth revolving around the sun. The scriptures in Psalm says that the earth is in its rotation and the sun has its tent right in the middle of everything. So, you know, when we have these people thinking that the earth is the center of the universe, it's not quite the center of the universe. But if you look at the old world, that's what they thought, and that's why we need to really understand about the old world. But if you look at the art from the old world and the different coins and everything, then you can see that the old world had some amazing understanding about the world, even though maybe they wanted to debate about if the earth is flat or if the earth is the center of the universe. That's here nor there, because the fact of the matter is that we know better now. But we look at the old world for us to appreciate the new world that Columbus discovered. And I'm not even going to get into the debate about all that, because you may look at the different events that has happened to the United States, and you could see that there was some not so good moments. But it's the complex part of the discovery and uniting. Like, keep in mind, it's the unification of the whole world. So that's where we get the globalist kind of idea. And that's when they're trying to move away from the sovereignty of the whole individual countries. And maybe that is the next step, where they want to reach this idea of this old world turning into the new world. I really want to emphasize old world, because when you look at the old world, we really, like, I was trying to steer you guys to Spain. When you look at Spain and a lot of the events of Spain, it's almost like Spain is the center of our development of humanity. Because if you think about Columbus came from Spain, you think about the Spanish flu, the origin of that area, and then you even think about the Spanish Civil War. And that's why I'm not going to talk too much about the Civil War in this, because there's plenty on the internet about the Civil War. But if you really look deeply into the Spanish Civil War, you'll get a better idea about the whole big scheme of this world, and just the way that there is essentially good versus evil. No doubt there is bad battling evil, but there is also the whole sense of goodness. There's good orderly ideas of civilization that you have to really take seriously and to understand. And it goes back to the Bible. 100% of the time we need to go back to the Bible, because if even back during the old world, when they looked at the Bible, and there's only one way the Bible is translated. There's not multiple translations. It only means one thing, and it's to glorify God and enjoy God forever. And when you're trying to have peace in this world without Christ being the center of the peace, it's a false peace, and it will never ever pan out the way that you think. You know, we got to look at the old world and see how it was developed. And when you look at all these lovely pictures, and then you even think about it, is like, wow, is this stuff from 600 years ago? Is this stuff from 1,000 years ago? You just look at it and you see that the civilizations were booming, just like now in the new world. The new world now is complete. This is the new world. We got civilizations all over the globe that are getting to know each other, getting to be part of that community, like a global community. But we really still need to really understand the sovereignty of these countries, because God made borders. God made the different tribes in this world. And if we don't want to accept it, and if we just want to have one global village, or globalism without any sovereignty, without independence, and having everyone just to be dependent on this one like community, then that's something that I'm going to get more into about the new world, because we have to really embrace the events happening in this life. You know, even with the COVID-19, 99.9% of the people survived the COVID. But you know, now that I have it, am I going to be a better person at the end, or am I going to have some side effects? I don't know. I just pray that the Lord will move and have his purposes inside of me, and just like these videos.
Let's look at the other side of the coin. Look at this city. What is going on here in the 1500s? And these are the kinds of cities we're seeing depicted on the old map we are looking at. Absolutely splendid. This is a taste of the old world. And these crests found all around are the nations of the old world. And this is all we have here. This nation appears to have been associated with Tartaria, and